want to take a look at a new segment, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of, following that Shea Patterson news that he will be the Week 1 starting quarterback. I went back and looked at the last 34, 35, 33 years of Michigan football starting quarterbacks. Went back to 1985, which was Jim Harbaugh's second year as starting quarterback at the University of Michigan. Didn't really count 84 because Harbaugh was injured mid-year with that broken arm and really didn't get, I think, the full weight of his talents that year. So 1985 was the year Jim Harbaugh started at quarterback for Michigan. We're going to take a look at those records now. So take a look at this one right here. Jim Harbaugh, 85. Michigan comes in. This is really, if you look at these openers, this is the opening game and who the opening game starter was for that season. Ultimately, what their record was that year, and then we put in the lower part how many touchdowns they had. Ironically, Jim Harbaugh only 31 touchdowns at the University of Michigan. Came in third in the Heisman Trophy in 1986, throwing 10 passing touchdowns. Can you believe that, folks? That is insane. So Jim Harbaugh, 1986. Jim Harbaugh, 1985, 1986. Then you look at another sheet of Notre Dame. 6 straight years, 7 out of 8 Michigan faced Notre Dame. In those 6 years, they went 2-4, which is not an ideal way to start a season. 6 straight years, the end of the bow. Michael Taylor, Elvis Grbac. Grbac came in as a freshman in that 89 game, so he really played three out of 4 years against Notre Dame in his time at Michigan. You've got Grbac. 1992 was an interesting year. Grbac come back for his senior season at the University of Michigan after his whole receiving crew of Desmond Howard and some others went on to the NFL after the 1991 season. 91 was a heck of a game. You're going to see, I believe, this play coming up right here. This is the famed, not the famed catch. That is Scott Dreisbach in 1995, which is a big-time play that I love. But Michigan starting quarterback since 1985. This is an interesting list. We're going to kind of roll through it here. We're going to get into the 90s. Maybe some of you watching will know a little bit more about these players and some of the guys in the late 80s. So Todd Collins came in 94. Down year for Michigan, big time. Started off the year with a win at BC. Collins, started in 94 and 93. Got a lot of playing time in 92 when Grbac was hurt. 8-4 senior year was a disappointment. Redshirt freshman Scott Dreisbach started in 95. Sophomore in 96. But as you see, Dreisbach was the opening day starter both those years as a true redshirt freshman, redshirt sophomore. Did not have the starting job by the end of the year. Actually, both years it was Brian Griese who overtook him. Those were 8-4 years, 9-4, then an 8-4 year. On to 97. Everybody remembers Colorado, who was this is a top 15 matchup. Michigan Colorado. Brian Griese really set the tone for that year. Undefeated national title year. Michigan beat Colorado. I was at that game 27-0 on the day. 98. Michigan embarrassed the Tom Brady's first game at Notre Dame. Really is just an embarrassing day altogether. 99. Michigan comes back with another win against Notre Dame. Brady's senior year. Rolling on to the 2000s. You're going to see 8 straight years of the same quarterback play. John Navarre, redshirt freshman John Navarre in 2000. People say, oh, what about Drew Henson? Drew Henson was the quarterback that year. Well, not so fast, my friend. People forget Drew Henson only started 8 games in his entire University of Michigan career, missed the first 3 games with injury, came in game number 4 against Illinois to lead Michigan from a come-from-behind victory after, frankly, Navarre had a great first game, really struggled on that road game against UCLA that Michigan lost, and was struggling on the road at Illinois when Drew Henson came in and really saved the day for the University of Michigan. All right, let's keep this bad boy rolling through the 2000s. John Navarre, 4 straight years as your starter. Then, this is the model of consistency from the mid-90s, once Griese took over in 97 through 2007. Michigan really had as consistent of quarterback play. You knew who the quarterback was, the starter. You knew who the backup was, and there really wasn't. If Ryan Mallett hadn't moved on after, if Lloyd Carr hadn't retired and Ryan Mallett wouldn't have left Michigan, you might have saw Mallett for another 3 years, but it continued. Henne, 2007, lost to Appalachian State, a massively disappointment of a top 5 preseason team in 1994. Henne, the all-time leading passer in Michigan football history from a touchdown perspective. Nick Sheridan started that 2008 year, and of course, he was not successful. Stephen 3 ultimately unseated him. True freshman Tate Forcier in 2009, unseated by his classmate, true sophomore in 2010, Denard Robinson, who took Michigan through the 2010 and then a very successful 2011 campaign, starting off with that big win against Western Michigan, 11-2 Sugar Bowl team. Started off 2012 in Dallas. I was at that game. It was was an absolute bloodbath. Denard Robinson, had no chance against that Alabama football team in 2012. That was his last year. He actually didn't even finish the year as starter in 2012. We all remember Devin Gardner coming in about mid-year, and once Shoelace was healthy, they actually had him playing running back. We all remember against Ohio State in 2012. Denard Robinson, your starting running back. Devin Gardner, 13, massively disappointing season after kind of beginning the year with a win against Central Michigan and then hosting Notre Dame under the lights in a big-time win. 2014, probably the most absurd, disappointing, disastrous Michigan football season of my lifetime. We don't count 2008 because no one expected anything that year, even though 3-9 was a tad ridiculous. Transfer quarterback, a one-year man, Jake Rudock, came in 2015, lost at Utah in his opener. I think for what we expected versus what we were given, I think Jake Rudock is probably the best bang for your buck as a quarterback in Michigan football history. Only 1 year. It would have been great if he would have come in as a transfer and had 2 or 3 seasons under his belt. Last 2 seasons, 16 and 17, Wilton Speight got Michigan off hot at the beginning of the year. Big time 50-plus point win against Hawaii in 2016 that got Michigan as high as number 2 in the country. 2017, Wilton Speight, big time win in Game 1 against Florida in Dallas, Texas, where Chat Sports Studio is. I was at that game as well, but Wilton Speight didn't even make it to midseason. John O'Korn, Brandon Peters, a disastrous year for the Michigan football team. Wilton Speight, 22 career passing touchdowns in his time at Michigan.